Andrew is the vengeful spirit, yeah. Cassidy, she don't mean nothing no more. And The Flash is the best book on the earth, 'cause it made Matthew Patrick fucking good. You can point yourself to Locker 14 to prove the vengeful spirit is Cassidy. But just look at Man in Room 1280. Andrew's right there on page number 18. Can't wait to meet you, to join the animatronic family. We open real soon. Do your best to hold on to sanity. Scott Cawthon is the greatest writer on earth. He makes Dogan fucking look like a worm. So let's party and let's party again, 'cause Toy Chica is William Afton. How do you do, Andrew Vengeful Spirit? How do you do? Cassidy don't mean shit. How do you do? Matthew Patrick's pregnant. Andrew is in the games. I've had enough of this dumb stitch line. Made a new theory called Andrew Line. It simply means that Andrew's in the games. No one else is in the games. Only Andrew's in the games. How do you do?
I'm Cassidy.
And who are you?
I'm the vengeful spirit.
No, you are not, you stupid motherfucker. Andrew's the vengeful spirit. The fun is starting, the celebration to last eternally. I'm always watching, 'cause I've got an Andrew inside of me. Scott Cawthon is the greatest.
Hello, chat. What is good?
Oh my god, David, it's the purple gust.
It is your boy, the Dredge.
Toy Chica is William Afton.
They can't hear you. Ha ha ha. Okay, they can hear you now. They can hear you now.
Dang it, they missed my joke. It's too late now, the moment's passed.
Alrighty.
Got it, so that's good.
Chat, if you're wondering why I am laying back on a pillow, they have finally found what is wrong with me. I have fractured ribs.
He's got ligma.
Yes. So if I need to end the stream in immense pain, I will do so. Hopefully we can stick it out though. All right. Let's put this this screen on here.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right.
In case anyone's confused, I'm Connie Dual Process Theory, and this is Flipside.
Yeah, sorry if I'm not gonna be as lively today as usual.
No, you're fine. You have broken ribs. Freddy broke them himself, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Freddy Fazbear came to his house and beat the shit out of him.
TD looking hella comfy. Who's gonna tell him?
Are you comfy?
No. Okay.
Oh yeah, mind you, chat. I actually told TDreads I had assets and stuff from the story that we could talk about, but he's like, "No, I'm just gonna mooch off Gibby's Horror Homestead." So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Just heads up.
Okay. Gibby, release, and I'll be taking the notes on my phone today, chat, because I don't want to move. Okay, begin.
Their past. But through going through these books in this series, I've determined something. It's currently possible.
Oh, I got a screen share with you guys. Duh. Holy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't see.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
are we finally doing that blind reaction?
Yeah, no, here we go.
That this series could be in continuity with the Silver Eyes trilogy. Will that continue as we go? I don't know. Will Frights fiction be possible as we go? I don't know. That's the point. Other people have come to believe the Frights fiction theory.
Somebody said, "Hope your scrote is feeling better." Stop! Don't make me laugh, man.
After reading the books, and so I wanted to be the first person to read through the books with that in mind, to see if it actually holds up. I don't want just my memories of the series to be like, yeah, that would make sense. I want to read each word with that thought in mind. We are now going to talk about the third story in the physical book 135 AM, The New Kid. Or, should I say, The New Peak, because this is the best story so far. 135 AM? Never heard of him. Count the ways? More like, count yourself out of first place. The New Kid is written by Andrea Wagner, the author who previously tragically was assigned to write Lonely Freddy and Room for One More, the two worst stories we've seen so far. I've been saying that I don't think Andrea Wagner is a bad writer, just that these were really bad stories, and The New Kid proves it. As always, my summary won't do the story justice, and I always recommend that you read each story yourself. A lot of things I love about this story are the little bits of writing, like imagery or similes or just little character quirks I'm not going to go into in the summaries. You can't really get yourself immersed in the world if I'm just summarizing it for you, so please, please, please read these stories. Speaking of the story, let me tell you what happens in the story. Devon, abandoned by his dad and ignored by his mom, can't understand why love and friendship come so easily to everyone except him. That summary comes from the back of the book. It's wrong. I'm guessing the person who writes these blurbs is not Andrea Wagner or Scott Cawthon, because that's just simply not what happens in this story. Like, maybe the character Devon feels that way, but that's not anything that's relevant to the story. It's not something he thinks to himself. It's not something that...
Tell us shit on the back of the book.
We boost your volume a little bit. Here we go. Okay. God, I feel like leaning back in this chair, I got that Reddit moderator stance. Okay. Is that Kelsey? No, that's not Kelsey. The picture you sent in the chat, his face is so small.
Oh, that's Devon.
Informs his characterization. The thing that's supposed to unify all three of the stories in this book together is the idea that in the callous world of Five Nights at Freddy's, it's always in the depth of loneliness that evil creeps in. And we'll talk about how that relates to the story later. I think it's much more clear that that's the theme of Room for One More than it is that it's the theme of 135 AM or this story, although it is relevant to these stories. Delilah is lonely in 135 AM. Is it her loneliness that causes the clock to attack her? I don't know. Is it Devon's loneliness that causes what happens in this story to happen? We'll talk about it. Now, the main character in this book is named Devon. My name is also Devon. The main character of the interactive novel VIP is also named
his favorite
Devon.
Story.
We are three different Devons, although to make sure you guys don't get confused, I will actually be letting one of my co-hosts take the reins for this entire video. Instead of hosting, this video will be hosted by Two Hat Mikey. Hey, it's me, Two Hat Mikey, and I wear two hats. Let's begin. The story starts with Devon presenting his creative writing project to his class. He's telling the story of two little girls who enter a bounce house at a birthday party. The bounce house ends up eating them. She looks up and sees her sister's partially eaten body lying on the red vinyl. No, wait, the vinyl isn't red. It's covered in blood.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
Monster House.
Oh my gosh, I just realized something about this. Just him recounting this about later in the story. Damn, okay.
It's because the Freddys ate them.
Was that a squeal Devon just heard? He kept reading.
Yeah.
And the house isn't a house. It's a big mouth, and the mouth is chewing, and now it's opening wider, and Hope, now screaming, is sliding into... That's enough, Mrs. Patterson shouted. Devon is sent to the principal's office. Mrs. Patterson also calls him his full name, Devon Blaine Marks. Using someone's full name, including their middle name, is usually shorthand for I'm angry at you, but it typically comes from, like, family members, like a mother or a grandmother. I don't know why a teacher would call someone by their middle name. I don't know why a teacher would even, like, know one of their students' middle names. This isn't some tiny town with, like, 50 kids. I don't know if any of my teachers knew my middle name. I was a boss. I had to yell at people all the time. I didn't know most of my employees' middle names. Anyway, Devon clearly doesn't think that he did anything wrong. He asks, "What?" several times. This is when we get the first sign that Devon is severely emotionally disturbed. On his way to the principal's office, he glances at his classmate, Heather. Heather sat in the second seat from the door in the third row. As he passed that row, he met her gaze. Had it worked? Heather was looking right at him. Looking right at him. Yes! Heather Anders, one of the most popular girls in his class, and by far the prettiest, had never, not one single time, ever looked at Devon.
He's a Reddit
as far
mod.
as Heather and pretty much all of their 9th grade class was concerned,
Thanks,
Devon
Silent Killer.
didn't exist. Or if she had noticed he existed, he was nothing more than part of the scenery, like a blackboard or a chair. If it wasn't for Devon's best and only friend Mick and his well-meaning but very annoying mom, Devon would wonder if he did, in fact, exist. Sometimes he wasn't so sure, but today he existed, and Heather saw him. Triumphant, he grinned at her and gave her a thumbs up as he sauntered toward the classroom door. Heather rolled her eyes and said, "Geez, Devon, that was sick." Devon grinned wider and stood tall as he nodded at her and then strode out of the classroom like he was heading to an important meeting instead of to the principal's office. He'd done it. Even though Heather never noticed Devon, he'd made a careful study of Heather. He watched her. He listened to her.
A little bit weird.
He wanted to know everything about her. The previous week,
Yeah.
while Mick was
So-
going
A little
on about
weird.
his latest
If I
superhero
may,
obsession,
if I may,
Devon was listening to
a
him.
lot of the Fazbear Frights and Tales from Feast Flex shorts have like an obligatory crush for the main character. I do
Yeah.
find it is relevant to this story. But like when we get to the later ones, I swear, I think by the time I got to Prankster, I was like, if I have to hear about another heterosexual guy who can't like ask his
You
crush
can't
out, I'm
talk to
gonna
bitches. Can't get
I
no.
think-
I'm gonna actually
I think-
crush out. But this
I
one is
think
actually
Prankster
relevant.
is better because in this one, Devon is just like an actual creep.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, that's the point. Is like he's
Yeah.
like he doesn't really know how people work, and
No,
like
he's
you can kind
and
of
he
get it, but also as you know, a girl, you can also see why Heather does not want to associate with him whatsoever.
He doesn't know how projections work either, I bet.
yeah. Devon displays some sociopathic tendencies later on, which we will see.
Chat,
yeah, we'll talk about
I'm
those when they
going to
come
write this
up.
down on my phone because to switch tabs, I would have to lean forward, and that's not happening. All right.
Heather talked to her girlfriends. She was complaining about her 4-year-old twin sisters, Haley and Hope.
For anyone just coming in, I have fractured ribs, so I'll be moving as little as possible.
They drive me crazy,
I just
she
want
told
everything.
Valerie, her best friend. I mean, seriously bonkers. I'm always having to babysit them, and I hate it. They're always getting into trouble, breaking something or whatever, and then I get in trouble. I hate them. That same day, Mrs. Patterson handed out the assignment to write an original short story. That's when Devon saw his chance.
And Devon
He
wrote
saw
the
it
Fazbear
and took
Frights.
it, and he'd
Frights
made the
fiction
most of it.
confirmed.
Who cared?
Oh, see, I wasn't even paying attention. He wrote the story about her siblings. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we find out later
Easily.
he doesn't really have good role models, but like at that point I feel like someone should have been like, "Hey bud, why did you do that?"
Yeah.
Like one of the adults should have been like, "Hey, what's going on, man?"
Okay. I was
You know,
gonna
this
say
is-
if
this
it
is
was
the
just
FNaF
if it was just
numbers.
two random kids, I guess it wouldn't be that weird for a student to write like a horror story.
No, it was
But
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
her
if
it was her younger
yeah,
sibling.
that's kind of weird.
It cost him a trip to
Yeah.
the principal's office.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Oh,
So,
no.
Devon thinks it's a good thing that he genuinely upset this girl he likes by writing a story about her sisters getting brutally killed because it got her attention and now she knows that he exists. It's also clear that he thought this would
Yeah,
impress
that
her
is how
because
stalkers tend to
she
think.
didn't
Anything
like
that
her
gets your
sisters, and
attention,
he
even if it's
overheard
bad
that, and so he had
attention.
them die brutally
Yeah.
in his short story. He also thinks that her saying, "that was sick," was probably her saying, "that was sick," as opposed to,
Yeah.
"that was
Which is
sick."
also
This boy is
a trait
disturbed,
that-
not living in reality, and doesn't
sparks her
understand
neglect.
people. He is our
Easily.
best protagonist by far because I actually have opinions on him.
We can
Oscar and
branch out.
Greg were great people to follow for a fun adventure story. They were, like, interesting enough. But Millie and Devon have me yelling at the book, and I love it. Mikey doesn't drink water, Mikey drinks caffeinated soda. To have Mikey be like, I don't even care about dehydration or hand puppets. After school, Devon meets with his friend Mick. Mick is nerdy, loves superheroes, and is always eating junk food. He has wire glasses and is fat. He has some learning
He's just like
disabilities
me,
that
for
the book
real, for real.
intentionally doesn't elaborate on, I'm sure because they don't want people to compare him to any
Okay.
real-life disorders.
Don't wear
But it
glasses.
also uses this as an opportunity to explain some of his home life and his backstory. We learn that Mick's father doesn't want him to get diagnosed with anything because he doesn't want him to get labeled. And thus, he's not going to get any help that he might need. Mick and Devon are each
He's
other's
anti-vax.
Did you see what Heather did,
Listen,
though?
as
She
someone
was,
who
like,
was
really white.
undiagnosed in a public school, the label probably would have helped. Kids are very mean, and
Yeah.
teachers who don't understand you don't have problems are not going to be able to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of happened with me. I mean, I wasn't a creep like Devon, but labels can feel hurtful.
In her face, I
Well,
mean, I thought she was
I
going
think
to
you guys
faint.
missed.
Yeah,
You
but
said
did you
that
see it?
Mick canonically has some sort of learning disability, but his parents won't get him
Right.
diagnosed.
Yeah.
Her,
Yeah.
look at me. Mick glanced
Don't
at
do that.
Devon, who bent down to pick up
It's
a
okay
round
to have a
stone.
disability.
He flung it at a stop sign, and it hit the middle of the O with a resounding metallic clink. I saw her look at you like she wanted to kill you. Nah, didn't you hear what she said? Mick adjusted his backpack. Yep, she said the story was sick. No, she said it was sick, as in cool. Mick screwed up his face. I don't think so.
What?
Yeah, this follows the trope
no, she
of
didn't.
a fazbear fright story has some
Mick
cool
is
subtext that it ruins by then just
single-handedly the
explaining
only
it in the
person
next
keeping
paragraph.
this
But
kid
it
from
also
becoming a
tells us that
serial
Mick
killer.
isn't delusional and is willing
Mick
to
is
tell
the only,
Devon to
like,
his face
sane
that he's
person in this
wrong.
whole story.
The boys walk to the railroad
Good
because
for
all
him.
of the fazbear fright stories apparently have to have
Yeah,
railroads.
there's another
Maybe this is
railroad. That's interesting.
I see myself in
Faz
Mick.
plot, but it's for
Not because he's-
frights.
not because I'm
Imagine.
sane.
the same one from out of stock in 1:35 a.m. They then go into the woods and they go to an old abandoned gas station that they used to hang out as a
Sorry if
clubhouse.
you guys hear
The gas
clattering.
station
I'm
has now been
messing
demolished,
with
so
colored
they can't use
pencils.
it as their
and
clubhouse
try to mute
anymore.
while I pull them
Tragic.
out.
Devon is genuinely a good friend and knows that this is upsetting to Mick. Devon thinks he's outgrown playing games in the woods, but he promises Mick that they're going to build a cool tarp tent fort that they can go and play pirate together in. He gives his friend a hug and they do a little like finger hook secret handshake thing. I'm curious if any of you have ever had secret handshakes. I did, but that's because I'm cool. I'm so cool I wear 2 hats. This should really be this way so you guys can see the logo.
It's so
Buy my
funny.
merch. Yeah, cool. Leave your secret handshakes in the comments below. Again, Devon is a really good friend to Mick and is not
Aw.
dismissive even though they have different interests. And Devon thinks he's a little too mature for the things that Mick is interested in. Unlike the
Alright,
other
bro.
Fazbear Fright
Alright,
stories, this
yeah,
one
sure he
actually
is.
swaps perspectives between Mick and Devon.
Maybe
And
he's
it's in
too
Mick's
handsome 'cause he's
perspective
a
that we
mega
find out
supermodel.
that he also isn't dismissive of Devon's crush on Heather. He just knows that he doesn't understand
two
it. Again,
brains.
I genuinely like these two as friends. It's a pity what happens to them. Some time passes, Devon's just chilling in class, his teacher is still kind of mad about his story, and then one morning, Mick introduces Devon to the new kid, Kelsey.
He said
Kelsey-
the thing. I'm wondering if I should write down the...
Title drop.
No, I'm saying I wonder if I should write down that he has a class where he wrote a whack-ass story. Because I guess that happens in GGY. But it's not... It's pretty hyper-specific.
GGY, the story doesn't
he
even make
butchers
it
it,
to the
yeah.
class.
Well, he butchers it. That's right. Yeah.
He is super nice.
wizard's
and
favorite
Devon
Ohio.
knows that he's attractive because Devon knows what girls look for in
Wizard's favorite
boys.
Sigma.
Kelsey is extremely
You
nice and he
know that
smiles
me
at
and
them.
Corey are
And
from
Devon
Ohio,
is like,
right?
why are we worth smiling
What'd you
at?
say?
Why
Like in real life. Me and Corey are like actually from Ohio. Like
I'm sorry.
in real
I'm
life.
sorry for your loss.
is he being so nice
Yeah.
to us?
Either
Kelsey is
you
also
guys
blonde.
know that or I guess
Devon's
that
inner
somehow, 'cause
Millie
I
is
remember
coming
saying
out.
that.
Mick tells Devon that he invited Kelsey to eat lunch with him, and Devon
We like
says,
to joke
sure.
about it, it's
but
how
it's
we
not
cope.
specified if it's like a sure
Hey, thank you, Jenya, for the Dreadmaster subscription.
or if it's like a sure. He definitely thinks it's weird that Kelsey wants to sit with them. He looks over at Kelsey again, and he notes that he looks cool. And this makes him say, sure, again. Again, it's unclear if he went sure.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm just imagining like Devon is Dokes from Dexter and Kelsey is just watching Kelsey like that.
so
Okay.
is
so-
it? So he's targeting them specifically, right? That's why he goes up to their group.
Yeah, because
Weird.
Yeah.
like sorry to anyone who doesn't expect us to go into spoilers early, but at the end of the story, when we see him approach kids again, it's specifically outcasts. And because at first I thought it was specifically bullies, but he in this point he approached Mick before he approached Devon. So it seems he was talking to he's going for outcasts specifically, which is honestly gonna be real. Possible that if he just wants to kill things, he's going for people who won't be met.
Yeah. Well, I actually have the excerpt right here. You guys want me to send it?
We'll talk about that at the end. The end of the story, we'll get to it. Yeah, at the end.
And then was like, oh, he's cool. Sure, we don't know. The book plays with the fact that it's a book and that Devon's an unreliable narrator a lot. At lunch, a bunch of jocks stop to say hi to Kelsey as they eat, and Kelsey waves at a bunch of girls as they walk by. So Devon and we, the reader, Devon, I'm not Devon, I'm too at Mikey, note that he does actually have options of who to sit with, but is still choosing to sit with Devon
This is
and
actually
Mick.
just Gibby's origin
Mick starts
story.
oversharing with Kelsey and notes that Devon
Sorry.
likes cloudy
Gibby-
days, and
Gibby-
sometimes he
Gibby's
thinks he's a
nothing like this,
vampire. But since he doesn't sparkle in the sun, he knows that he's
Gibby
not. That's a
respects women.
nice Twilight reference in Year of
Gibby
Our
does
Lord
respect
2020. Year of our
Don't you forget it.
Year of our bear. Year
Also,
of our,
yeah,
our Freddy.
Gibby's
Faz
right.
God
Everyone
Bear.
should watch
Heather
Twilight
comes
Zone.
over to say hi to Kelsey. Kelsey asks if she found the book that he recommended. That's some serious Millie energy right there. After their conversation, Heather glances at Devon and Mick and says, "Oh, hi, Devon." The tone of Heather's voice when she said hi to Devon was totally different than the one she used for Kelsey. Devon noticed that, of course.
That's because she likes talking to a projection, not a real fucking person. Gross, Devon. Maybe if you were made of, like, light particles, then she'd like you.
Part of his brain told him that the sharp and heavy tones of each syllable
Chat, let's all get a hashtag projection.
Represented sarcasm. Part of his brain didn't care. It only cared that she said hi to him. Hi, Heather. She wrinkled her nose at him, flashed a big smile at Kelsey, and walked away. Devon pretty much floated through the rest of the day. He hadn't felt this good in a very long time. In the margin next to this paragraph, I wrote, "He's an idiot." On his way through school to meet Mick after class, Devon passes Heather and her friends loitering by their lockers. Heather stood with her back to the hallway. Her friends formed a semicircle in front of her. There was Valerie and Juliet, along with her third BFF, Gabriella. Gabriella's boyfriend, Quincy, also stood nearby. For some reason Devon didn't understand. Quincy always seemed to be hanging out with the three girls. What do you mean for some reason you don't understand? It's so interesting to me to learn what Devon does and doesn't seem to understand about other people. Like, oh, why would a guy be hanging out with his girlfriend? What? Because it's his girlfriend. He obviously doesn't get other people. Mick does get other people, but sometimes he doesn't know how to communicate himself to them. He doesn't know how to act or what to say. Like he almost told Kelsey at lunch that Devon has a crush on Heather, not understanding that's not something you tell people. But Devon just doesn't understand normal humans. They're both very different, but this makes Mick a little more innocent and relatable, whereas Devon is just odd and potentially creepy. I've decided I'm going to make my own movies. Creepy. Heather flung her hair back over her shoulder. I don't want to be an actress. Like I want to be behind the camera.
Freddy's movie.
Devon didn't think. He just stopped next to Heather and started talking. Ignoring Heather's friends, he pushed in sideways in front of Heather and said, "If you're going to make movies, you should do horror movies. Even campy horror movies can get good followings." Heather took a step back and looked Devon up and down. He kept talking. "If you decide to do horror movies, let me know. I have a cousin who has clown makeup and costumes. You could do a creepy clown story." Heather tapped a red-nailed index finger against Devon's chest, emphasizing each word with what could have been scorn, but maybe not. She pronounced, "You are unoriginal. That's been done, done, done." She turned and flounced off. Her friends followed, but not before Valerie, her blonde curls bouncing as she shook her head at Devon, said, "You are very weird." Devon watched them walk away as he rubbed the spot Heather touched.
Simpery.
She touched him. We then get a perspective shift to Mick. Devon tells him that Heather touched him, and Mick thinks... It sounded to Mick like Devon had made himself look like a total doofus, but Devon didn't see it that way. Devon actually thought Heather's comment and her fingertip to the chest were worth getting excited about. Mick was a little worried about Devon.
So is most of the story just him straight, like, creeping?
Oh, don't worry. We're getting to the plot soon.
Okay. Yeah, the plot definitely shifts away from Heather after this point.
He was getting just a bit delusional.
But again, this is actually like relevant.
Devon didn't deserve to get Heather's attention. Sure he did. Mick's parents had taught him that looks don't mean anything, and everyone is equally deserving of love and other good stuff. Mick had to admit he wasn't really sure the world worked that way. He hadn't seen evidence of this attitude in high school for sure, but he trusted his parents. Mick is precious and
Hey, the projection guys in chat. Say the line, Bart.
I love him. He watched Devon throw a rock at the coupling on the end of one of the boxcars. He hit it dead on, but he was missing big time with his conclusions about Heather. Devon's latest conversational attempt was a swing and a very, very big miss. Mick is very insightful, and yes, this is now the second time that Devon has been shown to have really good aim. He hit the stop sign earlier, and now he's hitting the train exactly where he wants to. Fam, this is what I mean when I say the story is well written. There's actual, like, continuing plot points in the background that end up leading to symbolism later. It actually leads to symbolism now. It's saying he's good at hitting things, but he's bad at hitting the mark with conversation. He can hit his mark, but he can't hit on the girls. The next day, Mick tells Kelsey about their clubhouse being destroyed, and Kelsey says he can fix up this old barn on his property and they can all hang out there.
I had to, like, edit a Twitter handle for him, and I made him, like, D-Marksman or whatever. It's like, oh, he's a marksman, I get it.
Kid, presumably possessing Golden Freddy, says he'll fix up an old barn on his property.
True.
Red barn. Let's go.
Red bear. Interesting. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna write that down.
There. This makes Devon realize that they can actually start going to parties with the other cool kids. Like Heather. They agree to meet up in the parking lot after school to be driven to the department store by Kelsey's neighbor, George. The passage ends with, life had a way of disappointing him. Maybe things were going to turn around, though. As Heather swished past and gave him a chilly stare, he let himself believe in the possibility of change. Incredible. I love it. He thinks his circumstances can change, but really, he thinks that he can change.
See, Chet, even with no ribs, I still have theorizing.
We'll learn in the analysis section that the thing that he did wrong was be weird to Heather and write that bad story. So if he can change and just not do that, maybe he can be friends with Heather. He can avoid this bad fate that's coming toward him. We'll see if he's able to change who he is and stop being creepy to Heather. Before they go to the parking lot, we get a scene where they're in the classroom, and this should give us blaring warning signs about what the moral of the story is, because the teacher asks them to define justice. The teacher says, "We know it when we feel it," and then asks the class their thoughts. Kelsey says, "Justice balances the scales. It removes the downside so the downside can't outweigh the upside." I literally do not know what he means by that. Typically, people would say that justice...
You guys still there? Oh, sorry.
But then the good side would just be the one that was weightier. So that wouldn't be balancing the scale.
Justice introduces consequences, so like, you do something bad, you get punished. You do something good, you get rewarded. Some people think that justice means revenge, obviously.
Interesting.
I'm the vengeful spirit. I'm the vengeful spirit.
Like, you guys know I don't believe...
I think most people would say that being punished for bad deeds is a good thing, but that's not all that justice is.
I'm okay with that.
I'm unclear what he means about, like, if you unbalance one side, that's good. I don't know what he means. Heather seems to think that it's all about revenge. I think justice is payback, Heather said. I inherently think we all know what the dark side of justice is. Obviously, if you do bad, you should be punished, but you should wish punishment on others because it's justice. You shouldn't say that you support justice only when you're getting revenge on people who've harmed you. Heather's also an angry teenager. If she wants to think that that's what justice is, that's fine. I just hope that most people don't. The teacher does push back on her take by saying, "What if payback goes too far?" Heather shrugged. "Accidents happen." She laughed, and the class laughed with her. Devon laughed the loudest. What I love about this story, and it's the same thing with Count the Ways, is, again, I think that the moral should be that revenge is not justice. But instead of having a character right now say, actually, revenge is not justice, they have the character say that revenge is justice, and then at the end of the story, they're punished for having that belief. The author trusts that the reader will get that the moral is that this is a bad opinion to have, because the people who believe it end up getting hurt. There are no good characters in this story. Even Heather, the character who only exists to be the protagonist, love interest / object of desire, has a character. I have an opinion about Heather, which is not something you can say about Greg's love interest in Fetch, whose name I don't even remember, because as far as that story is concerned, she was an object.
Yeah,
Heather
I think they're just ticking boxes to like, what do kids like?
Yeah.
Girls? Huh.
Yeah, again, that's what most of the stories are. This one is actually relevant.
And this next section is very painful. Devon and Mick
I do think
go to
when they
meet
make
Kelsey
the
and
Fetch
the old
game, they
man
should have
George in the
Kimberly and
parking
Manuel
lot.
as
George
divergent
was in a
romance
cool big
options.
pickup truck.
I don't think they're going to add a romance tree. like it's Persona.
Walking by, noticed that Devon and Mick are hanging out.
Sorry, what? Flip side?
So they mentioned, so the accidents happened. Devon laughed the loudest. But he also skipped over the part because right after the last line is Mick noticed that Kelsey wasn't laughing. Mick wasn't laughing either.
Yeah,
a shiver slithered down his spine. So he notices that Kelsey doesn't laugh when someone says payback goes too far, accidents happen.
Yeah.
So he's something about that bothers Kelsey.
He's plotting. Well, no, I think he's like foreshadowing, right? Like accents going too far kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some cool-looking people, which is unusual. This kind of solidifies the idea that Devon and Mick can build this clubhouse and hang out with Kelsey, that they'll be cool too. Kelsey led Devon and Mick to the pickup. Devon noticed a few kids give Mick and him looks, like they were cavemen who'd escaped the Stone Age. So these gawking students are stunned that Devon and Mick are cool now, and Devon knows it. You don't have to tell him twice, but during the Stone Age. So while developing the plan to go buy building materials, Heather and her friends walk up. Oh. Heather is wearing a tight red shirt.
Hi, Corey.
Oh, hola.
Hi.
Yo, what is up,
we're about... we're going through
entering the plot now. Yeah.
Video. We finally entered the plot. We were talking about simping in Ohio.
How what's
sounds about right.
How Devon's like, I like girls, and I like when they get mad at me.
Because that's what you want to write in the story.
Not my words, man. That's his words.
Whenever a boy finds a girl
Clip it,
attractive,
clip
you say
it,
her
clip it,
shirt
clip
is
it.
tight. Oh yeah, it's getting steamy in here. Next, you're gonna say that she's wearing like an attractive color, like red. Red is the color of lust. I got some lusty soda right here, drinking with my lusty buddy Clifford. Anyway, Devon's admiring her tight red shirt, but then, unfortunately, something bad happens. Heather asks what they're doing, and Kelsey says they're gonna go buy supplies to build a clubhouse, and then Heather grabs him by the arm and says, "You know, I'm a really good designer." Devon wanted to throw up. Heather took Kelsey's hand. "How about you have a building party this weekend? We can all come and help." Kelsey opened his mouth, but before he said anything, George grinned and said, "Hey, that sounds great. I can help you set up a barbecue." Heather gestured at the truck.
Who the fuck is George?
Okay, George is the guy who's driving them to the building store.
But how
to
does
get
he
all
know the
stuff made.
projection?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
bugs
see,
me about
that's the
Kelsey
thing.
being
Is
projected.
eventually, when we get to the twist ending, we're going to talk about how it doesn't make sense and whether or not that was intentional. But Kelsey
Also-
references having parents and a house and is friends with his neighbors.
He's also reported missing.
Yeah.
So people know who this guy is, and he apparently has like some type of family, at least according to him. And he knows people, which is really
Like, he
strange.
references having a sister.
It kind of sounds to me. Did anybody see the movie Weapons?
It's just having a what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what
so
it's about.
I'm thinking of that old lady. That's what I'm thinking about. Kelsey is. Kelsey's like, I know people. I've been around forever. I'm always projecting.
Corey, I know what you're thinking, and yes,
The image of the I can imagine anything guy. I'm always projecting
Yeah.
onto
I know-
characters.
yeah, Corey, I know what you're thinking, and yes, I think that he says the sister.
Oh. Hello? Hey, Jet. Is my mic okay? Oh no.